Yo, this is Tyson Knight, and we're at episode 49 of the Sup'm Show. Today's topic is the Montgomery Brawl. Now, if you've been underneath a rock, well, actually, you didn't even have to be underneath a rock because this kind of quickly hit mainstream media and then quickly vanished, in my opinion. They're not really talking about it anymore. It's like all the news channels had Montgomery Ball, all over TikTok. It was all over the place. And then all of a sudden, it was back to Donald Trump and the indictment and talking about George and all this type of stuff. But we go on cycle and rewind it back to the Montgomery Ball because there's a lot to be said with that situation. If so, to bring you up to speed, seemingly, let me just say the surface, and then we'll get into the details throughout the course of the show. A black man got jumped by a bunch of white people on a dock, and it turned into a Western brawl with white people against black people, looking like the Civil War all over again. But that isn't really the case, but that's how it looks on the surface. And when it first came out, everyone was like up in arms. Oh, look, these white people jumped this black man, which is what happened. But there's always a story. So what's up, Doc? We got Dr. Campazard from Empire Fitness, your favorite sports physician in the building.
What's going on, bro?
I 160 something pounds is what's going on, bro. So I don't know what this virtual coach program that you got me on. Actually, I think I'm ready for the brawl. That's what it is. You prepping for the brawl?
I can't I'm doing the new program myself. So I wrote a new program for this month that we've been doing. That's what we've been doing for the past month.
Getting ready for the brawl.
Yeah. It's fun. But it's work. It's tough. It's tough. But my idea was I still believe reading physiology, I know this is not about the brawl, but I still believe that you can build muscle and lose weight at the same time. A lot of people don't believe you can. Some people do. It's a little rough. It's hard, but I think it's possible. I think it can be done.
Yeah. I just have to keep reminding myself that muscle weighs more than fat. So the fact
don't mind the scale. Don't mind the scale. Forget the scale.
Yeah, I putting on weight, but it's still looking good. All right, so Ruckus is in the building. What's up, Ruckus? For the first comment of the day.
Today is Ruckus's birthday.
What? Happy birthday, bro. Big happy birthday from the Sup'm Show.
Make sure check out Ruckus on his podcast, Agents of Chaos. It's on Spotify. It's on Spotify. They get live on their show just like us, but they get really live because Ruckus, you can't. Ruckus is Ruckus. What are you gonna say? Ruckus is Ruckus. But check him out on Spotify. And but yeah, man, many returns, bro.
All right, so as we wait on the man one notes, we could jump into telling it like it actually is, Ruckus, and getting into the details. So, Ken, you want to give a word or two on what you gathered from it, or should I?
So, well, I saw the earliest video, which kind of started, I guess you could say, almost halfway through the incident, really. Right. The first video kind of showed when the guy, everybody thought it was a security guard, but that wasn't a security guard.
Right.
That was actually the co-captain of the ship.
Exactly.
Because they were like, "Oh, the security guard." So the guy throws off his hat, and then they start throwing blows, and then I guess the guys came off the boat to back him up. But you didn't know that was the story. You just kind of saw someone who looked like a security guard trying to talk to some white people,
right?
And then they start to fight, and then it turns into a big brawl. That was the first impression I got. And then finding out more about the story, come to find out the captain, who was white, he actually released a statement defending the co-captain.
Right.
And he said, they were asking these guys to move for a very long time because they parked where the one of those boats, we call the boats with the thing in the back, the big spinning thing. What do you call those boats?
The rudders, the propellers.
Yeah, it's a name for those boats, man, where they have in like southern
Oh,
in
they
southern
like
United States.
river ferries.
Yeah, those things with the big thing in
Hmm.
the back. So it was one of those things, I think. And they were supposed to dock on the dock on their
Right,
space. And the guys in their boat, smaller boat, maybe what, a 15, 20 footer or 25 footer, something like that.
right.
They they were in their space or they were pulled up too far. And he said, steamboat, thank you, Ruckus. So he said they went on the overhead mic and he said, could you guys please just move the boat back so they can pull in, right?
Hmm.
And the guys refused to move. And he said this went on for a few minutes and people are getting mad on the boat because they saw and heard what was going on, right? And people
Hmm.
wanted to get off the boat, you know. So it's just went on for a few minutes actually. So the captain decided to, I think another boat moved, the other boat moved, or something moved, but those guys never moved. And
Right,
so they were able to dock kind of sideways. He said he wasn't able to pull in properly, but he docked kind of sideways, or
right.
he kind of angled in, and so the people could get off the boat. Because he said he wanted to get the people off the boat. So anyway,
Yo,
this
Pause.
what's going on?
look at
Juan is in the
unfashionably
building.
late,
Huh?
unfashionably late.
Hey, you know how
Late.
it is.
So you
So what's
take
going on?
over from where Kent just left off.
All right, go ahead.
No. So the people got off the boat, and I
Hmm.
don't think obviously the people didn't approach those guys first, right? Because the captain is to get off the boat, right? So the
Right.
co-captain got
Hold
off.
on. Who was the captain of what boat?
The
The
captain
steamboat.
of the steamboat,
You play
the
catch up
co-captain,
now.
the
Okay, go ahead.
co-captain, the
Hmm.
co-captain who's black. He got who everybody thought was a security guard.
The one who
He got
threw the hat in the air.
one who threw the hat in the air. He
Okay.
was actually the co-captain. People thought he was a security guard for like the dock or something,
I thought he was a security guard also.
which is a little racist in itself. But we can come back to that because nobody assumed that he was a captain of anything. Everybody thought he was some dumb security guard. But
Right.
he wasn't a dumb security guard. He's actually the
He was the
co-captain of the whole
captain.
ship. All right, he's the
Right.
captain. Anyway, so he's talking to the guys, I guess, and you could see that it was a heated conversation that turned into a fight. And as they started to get loud and get into the fight,
Hmm.
they looked like they were going to gang him at first, and then the people from the boat, mostly the black
Right.
folks,
Hmm.
rushed to help the co-captain who was fighting the white guy.
Including the swimmer.
That dude, he deserves some type of medal or something. Like somebody should
People
pick him
been
up.
sending him, they been cash shopping him all kind of money.
Somebody should pick him up and,
But guess what? When he swam over to the shore, right? Did he actually make a difference?
Yes.
I believe so.
I don't think so.
Yes. He
A
inspired.
difference as far as numbers,
He
but not a
inspired a
difference. But
race.
not a difference as far as skills.
No. But he inspired the race.
There
Actually,
you go.
what there was a white boy, a young white man who came
Right.
over first and got a blow. He got a punch, and he said, "Oops, wrong party,"
Mhm.
and then he left. But I don't know what happened. But there was another guy, another youngster, like the one that swam across
Right.
the great ocean depth to get to his co-captain's side. So yeah, I mean, you spot on. Um,
So hold on. So the dude who swam across was a part of what the boat from the captain, the guy who threw the hat in the air.
that was the co-captain. That was the co-captain of the ship.
Oh, okay. I thought originally how they filmed it and the people was commenting on it. I thought he was on another boat just going by and he jumped off.
No,
Okay.
the boat, like Cam was saying earlier, the boat
Right.
was waiting to dock and had been
Right.
waiting for a while, but there was some unruly people in their
Mhm.
own private boat taking up the government space on the docking area.
Right.
That's like the space is allocated for the steamboat, and they
Mhm.
refused to move. So co-captain had to go on a little boat, go over to the dock, jump off, get on the dock, go to the boat, and say, guys, we really need you to move. He had been back and forth, getting cussed out for a little while, saying, get the hell out of here. We ain't going nowhere, you know? Hell no, we won't go. And then he physically, now this is why they got this he physically moved their boat a couple of feet. Right. Just a couple of feet, 2 or 3 feet, I think he said. And they got upset. He did it so that they could dock. They got a whole steamboat full of people trying to get off the boat. He moved them so that they could dock, so that the people could get off the boat. He could go on with his business. He was pleading with them. I'm just trying to do my job. I'm just trying to do my job. Right. And then, you know, when he was, if you saw it, you saw when just before he threw his hat off in the air, he was actually attacked. And the hat up in the air said, all right, gloves off, it's time to brawl. And then it was like Street Fighter. No, it ain't like Street Fighter. Street Fighter is 1-on-1. Right. I think it's like 2 or 3 dudes attack him one time.
So apparently the swimmer was 16 years old. Apparently he's a part of the crew.
Yeah. He's a part of the crew.
I'm reading this. He's 16 years old. He's a part of the crew. The dude jumped in the water and swam over to help his co-captain, help his fellow crew member.
Yeah. So here's where we are. So let's deal with the most I would say the first response by sensible people. Right. Which is why these white people jumped this black man? Because they saw it. You know, you can't hide from it and say, you know, it was the black person that instigated this brawl. Why these white people jump these black people? I've even saw video footage where white people kind of disowning the white people that attack black men, be like, they ain't our white people. They somebody else. They somebody else white people, right? Which brings me back. I kind of jokingly mentioned the Civil War earlier, but it one of those points I wanted to make when we had one of these another one of those slavery topics is that, you know, white people were very important to emancipation. In fact, we would not have been emancipated had not a white man make it a law, like put it in the Constitution, changed or whatever law it was. That was a white man did that. Right. So we all needed to come together. And in this instance, what you're actually seeing now is the way it looks, like a whole bunch of white people standing up against black people, a black man per se, or a few black people, until a whole bunch of black people rose up. And then they got kind of panicked and kind of scared. And then you see them kind of like running away, trying to throw in a little sucker punch here and there when the real security guards came out, when the real police officers came out. So there was kind of 2 brawls. There was the first one that involved the co-captain. And then kind of later on, it kind of escalated again, where you see the 3 black men come charging in and stepping up to the boat and be like, who the hell y'all think y'all is, whatever the case may be. And then they started there, oh, we don't want any trouble, probably talk or something like that. And then one of the black dudes throw a 1-2, and then it was on again. But here's my thing. The question here is this in this show. Is it, and this is what the Alabama police mayor and what the chief have to deal with, is this who goes to jail? And I think that's what the world was trying to look to see and watch and find out. Who is going to go to jail? Who is going to get the blame for this fight? Now, so far, we know that the security officer turned co-captain, now we know he's the co-captain, he's not going to jail, right? There are 5 people charged the last time I checked. 4 of them were white, 3 white males and 1 white female. And then there was 1 black guy who I believe they charged. And the black guy was another champion to the cause. He was the only one that came in with what do you call the samurai? It wasn't a samurai sword, or it wasn't a it wasn't a pair of nunchucks or
katana.
it was a chair, right? He was the chair wielding person, and he was slapping people down with the chair left, right, and center. So
I know a lot of laws. I mean, I don't know the law in the state in Alabama, but I know in certain states, like if you have especially if it's one on one, but even if it's a group fight, as long as there's fists involved, they won't bring charges. As a matter of fact, some states have a one on one. Actually, have a law for this. Like they allow people to fight one on one, then the police would actually like referee. And this,
I love that.
I actually like that too.
No, for real, that's for real. So once the police are there, and you said this is, I forget what they call it, voluntary combat or something like that. They had voluntary combat. This is like middle in the middle states, right? And you could go at it. You could fight. No, you can't pick. As soon as you pick up something, now there's charges. If you pull a weapon out, that's charges. But if y'all want to go hand to hand, nobody going to jail. The police will stop the fight when they believe it's time to stop. And that's it. I think it's called voluntary combat. I think that's what it's called.
On the topic of what's legal, though, there was an argument of whether or not this incident is a hate crime or not.
I don't think so.
And the FBI also ruled out that it is a hate crime.
It's not a crime. It's a fight.
It was just a bunch of people drunk. Okay, the good old captain conveniently tosses out in the air like he's about to do something, but he ain't really do anything. like what, bro? The question is, right? What was the reason for the whole in the air for? Like, bro, really?
You done done it now.
I just watched this before time just now, right? He had his hat on in the front, and then he turned it to the back, and then it's like he took it off, and then he was going to drop it on the ground, and he changed his mind again.
Yeah.
You switch hands again, and then he just throw it up.
The steam just.
I proceeded to get stomped out after that.
But he was outnumbered though.
Tyson, listen, outnumbered. Okay, I get that, right? But bro, he ain't allowed one shot, bro. Not one.
He was on the ground immediately.
You gotta come to the Empire.
Because the guy came running out of nowhere and caught him with a flying punch.
Yeah. Then your co-captain had to swimming from the Indian Ocean to save you, bro.
So two questions. So one question split in two. How should people feel about this incident, the Montgomery Brawl? What looks like a black against white or white against black thing. It looks like some white supremacists just feeling themselves saying we don't have to move unless we want to move, and black people have to obey or fall in line. How do you think? No, actually, on the basis that we say it's not a hate crime, how should black people feel and how should white people feel?
Why does everything have to come down to pulling the race card? That's my whole thing. A fight is a fight, bro. Okay. Now I'm not taking off for any parties involved.
Gotcha.
But I'm about to play devil's advocate here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say if the situation was reversed and there was a bunch of black guys jumping one white captain, and then Steven comes swimming across the ocean to help him out, right? To help his captain out.
Right.
What would the narrative been then? What do you all think the narrative would have been?
I think that was
blah blah blah.
I think that would have supported the thought that black people are uncivilized,
violent.
Would that narrative come
criminals
from white folks looking at the situation? What do you think?
If we changed up everything and I saw that happen and there's some black people carrying on like that, I don't know,
if you looked at it, right, if you had passed by and looked at it, what would have been your initial thoughts if it was reversed?
Well, I don't know. I think I just would have whistled and keep walking.
I definitely would keep walking, but I mean, because that ain't my business. But I mean, I would have thought, why these guys don't stop? It's bad
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
We have,
yeah.
we have a tough enough. We have a tough enough time. You have a tough enough time with everything else. You know what I mean? And it looks
Yeah.
really bad. A bunch of black dudes beating up one white dude. That looks terrible. That looks way. I mean, when I say look, I'm talking about how it looks to society, right?
I wouldn't have blamed them first, though. I would have blamed whoever they was attacking for. I would have been on their side, but I just would not have gotten involved.
So Ken, you said just now that looks terrible, right? So now let's go back to the original narrative, right? Why does it look racial?
Because it's clearly two races. So it's hard
But a fight is a fight.
It's hard for it not to look racial. It's
So
clear.
okay. So if it was 5-on-5, what now?
5 whites against 5 blacks.
Yes.
It's right. There's no way in this day and time that people are going to ignore the fact that 5 of these guys are white and these other 5 are black. Nobody's going to ignore that.
Yeah, they needed to be like 3 black and 2 white against 3 white and 2 black.
If it was a mix.
So do y'all guys? So what I'm trying to ask you, right? Do y'all really think? And I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm playing dice and nice roll right now. He's JP. Okay.
Awfully.
Do y'all really think every single time a white man swings at a black guy, it's because of race?
No.
So why is that we as black people, right? Why is it that we pull that card immediately when things not swung in our favor?
Let me be realistic about answering that question. Because of my conditioning now, and this is as a Bahamian black person who only know about black rule, right? Because of all the things that I've seen on the media and the movies and whatnot, I would automatically pick sides. It would automatically be racial. If a white guy put hands on a black man, I would point finger and call him a slave.
Even if it's a one-on-one.
Even if it's a one-on-one. You know why? Because most smart black people go to Empire Fitness and they have, hold on. Excuse me, gents. I just got to show this. They got like, okay. So
this boy actually cut us out to set the show.
So
so funny, Get. So he acting like this nigga right here acting right. That like he the only one in shape. I didn't.
Go ahead, man. Hold on. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just saying.
You got on the tank top already?
Yeah, but I don't have to do that. They already know,
bro. Come on, man. They already know. They already know. They already know. All right. So cool. So what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that automatically, I in my mind, I would think that a black man, Samson, there's only one way a white man, and this is the same thing when it comes to men versus women too. The only way why we feel so confident and showing ourselves off is because in our minds, we think that we're superior. The only way we can step to somebody not knowing what that person is about is because the only way we're going to initiate the fight is because we think in our mind that we are going to win, that we are superior, that in no way we don't have the upper hand.
Like the taxi driver. Like the taxi driver, right? Because he obviously thought, and I was a one-on-one, and I was black on black.
Swing, man, swing.
I want you to swing.
Yeah.
I want you to swing. Niggas
So you swing? You swing? I can show you who I is.
By the way, this is a good time to talk about the differences in law and situations like that between our country and the United States. But just to answer Juan's point, right? I think I agree with you in that the race card is pulled way too often in these things, right? but that's done for multiple reasons. It's done for so that the news media can get their attention.
Yes.
That's one of the main reasons they do it. Because as soon as they, oh, a bunch of white people beat up a black, and that's rarely seen. A bunch of white caught on camera. I mean, a bunch of white guys beating up one black dude. Like, that's rare. I've never seen that in my life. Right?
Right.
I've seen the reverse, and I've seen black on black, and I've seen white on white, but I've never ever seen a bunch of white dudes beating up on camera. Like, the last time I saw that, it was Rodney King. That's the last time I saw that. Right? So I mean, that's very rare to be caught on camera like that, in my opinion. At least in my experience. So, number two, we're in a very sensitive era right now. You're extremely sensitive. Attention is currency, like Warren said one time.
Yep.
So the media, of course, they want to get as much attention from that as possible.
Right.
So they're gonna push the little race button. It's in Alabama, for God's sake. Holy cow! Like it's just a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And it's such a unique story, and it'll probably never happen again. So I mean, so that's why you kind of see that. But in all honesty, even if race is a factor, meaning these white guys don't hang with white people, the white guys don't hang with black people, or they don't like black people, it's entirely their right. Right? Listen, I don't feel bad about anybody not liking me, Like, I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't have a problem with any racist at all. You understand what I mean? Like personal problem. I don't have a personal issue with you. A lot of times I'm like, yeah, bro, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, like, I don't have a problem with that. Now, how they jump to do it, black or white?
Yeah.
That was wrong.
Agree. That's where the problem lies.
It's like 5 or 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even the girl got a kick or two. You know what I mean? So I think that was definitely mob behavior, and mob behavior should be punished accordingly. Right? I think the guy who picked up the chair is getting charged, and that's why I made that point. I think he's getting charged because he picked up a weapon.
Right.
Because a lot of other black persons threw blows. You know what I mean? But he actually picked up a weapon, and I'm not a lawyer, but once you pick up a weapon, that kind of raises the level of the charge.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for sure. So it goes from assault to like attempt. You can even say attempted murder, bro. You pick up a chair, you try to hit someone with it. You call that attempted murder. You know what I mean? So I think that's why he's in trouble. Nobody else is in trouble. You know what I mean? They could all say they came to the guy's assistance, which was warranted because he needed assistance.
Right.
Right. So in that thing I see now with the taxi driver.
Bringing everybody up to speed though with the taxi driver. That's just someone caught on camera a taxi in the Bahamas. I think this is on Awaki, the fish fry. One guy is in a car and there's a taxi driver screaming at him. He goes up to the car, dares the guy to get out, dares the guy to do something. He's all up inside his face. He's obviously the loudest person, the most confident person.
With no underwear on. With no underwear.
Showing his butt crack. And anybody go to dog crack?
Just found the video.
And he's daring this dude who isn't saying much. The dude is just quiet with his arms and be like, "You do something," and start it. And then he turned into a little fight. It was probably 2 push and a swing, and the fight was over.
Yeah,
like two push and a swing. The fight was over. The loudest person lost.
And look at the similarities in the 2 situations, right?
Right.
According to the taxi driver, this person was in a spot that they were not supposed to be in with their vehicle. Similar situation.
Mm.
He instructed the guy to move, and the guy said he was moving. Now, apparently, the gentleman didn't like how he was told to move his vehicle.
Right. Okay.
Right? Because apparently the taxi driver said something that he didn't like. Not only that, and I'm watching the video right now, this taxi driver came from where he was over to the guy's vehicle. I'm watching. He has himself in a position, he has 1 foot back. Right? Now, once you put 1 foot back, you're ready to fight, right?
Yeah, that's fighting stance.
That's fighting stance. He put 1 foot back, he's ready to go. He all in the boy face. He made contact with this guy at least 3 times before he touched him.
Yeah.
And he swing first.
Yep.
He swung first. The dude pull his clothes off, pull his pants down. And for some reason, the taxi driver
I went to sleep.
for some reason, the taxi driver wasn't wearing no jockey.
None.
Okay.
None.
And then he caught the guy with a right cross straight to the jaw. Boom. On the ground. So
Snore.
But he goes to jail. He goes to jail.
The guy that
Right?
swung.
The guy
taxi driver.
No man, he had to dodge the punch. And he countered with a punch.
Right.
This is what I don't understand. And this is what I was saying to one of our friends who's also a police officer. He
Right.
said because he did the most damage, then the police charge him. And I'm like, that don't make no sense, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because if someone fight me, I'm gonna do the most damage all the time. All the time. Even if I lose the fight, I'm gonna do the most damage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't get it. That doesn't make sense to me. So he's like, well, causing grievous harm. Grievous harm. He said, grievous harm. Isn't that what he said? What?
Yeah.
That's really why I don't feel as though the chair wielding superhero isn't supposed to go to jail either, because he didn't start the brawl. Like if these people were reasonable, rational, well-behaved citizens of Alabama, and they had moved their boat out of the river steamboats way, all of this would have been avoided because they were only being asked to move because they wasn't supposed to be there. Now on the flip side, I can see the dude getting a ticket for being illegally parked in a no parking area. And maybe the taxi driver is trying to pull off a citizen's arrest. I don't know. But if he get knocked to the ground.
And it's not like he continued hitting the guy afterwards.
Right.
We all know how political our country is. And like I said, the only time you're going to step to somebody is when you feel as though you have an upper hand. Even though the upper hand isn't right here in front of you or in within yourself, you probably know somebody, and we know in the bombers it's all about who you know.
Right.
So he probably was saying, well, hey, you can tell my brother who is an officer for my brother is the police chief, or my uncle is this politician, and boy, watch for you, boy. You know, and then so said, so done, you get knocked out, you get up, you make your call, and all of a sudden the fella in jail, right? He in business in jail. They probably didn't even review no footage. You probably see more of that video than them can. I just said, possible. Right?
And just being, straight up and being transparent, in the taxi driver's defense, he stated that there were 2 gentlemen who were off camera and apparently invisible, who were able to hold him while he received the first blow. So these invisible characters played a part as well. So we have to mention that in his defense.
So the angels tell the man he could park there. He shouldn't have messed with that dude. Taxi driver ain't had no business messing with the angels. Told him he could park his car there. But that's what the world is kind of looking at these incidents and trying to figure out: is there justice?
I got a better question for you. Before we go on, before we go on justice, because justice involves the law, and I want to talk about. Before you talk about that, I want to talk about how we involve the law, because I could see at least you and me, at 23 years old, in that same situation, stomping some people.
Yep.
So my question is, talking about the law.
65.
I'm just saying, and if it was 5 of us,
Plus one.
definitely shots might have been fired. So my question is, as far as talking about the law is concerned, all right? Should we? Is that okay to handle the situation like that, or should we, at any age, whether you a tough guy or not, whether you 18 or 50 or 48, because at this age we can call the police because we caught them, right?
Right.
So why don't we do that when we're younger? Why do we tend to get into the brawl?
Because we're young and stupid. That's why.
Well,
no other question. No other reason. Young, stupid, uneducated, got something to prove.
Got something to prove.
And just full of energy and nothing to do.
Yep. Yep.
Simple.
But
Something to prove and
but
nothing to lose.
also, but let me add to that.
Nothing to
that
lose. Nothing to
we are
lose.
we may also not be believers in the justice system. We may also feel as though there is no justice, and if there's going to be anything just to come out of this, it would have to come from our physical involvement. And a lot of times that is the case. Because I don't know if you guys know on my run-in where I was hit by a drunk driver and ended up getting charged for the accident. So it's it's very, very real. Like I literally had to go to court and show and have them. I think I went to court 4, 5, 6 times. Every time they couldn't find the report, they can't find the police report. The police officer who do the report, he is showing up to court. The person who hit me is showing up to court. This story, that story. The judge kind of be like, okay, this is weird, that is weird, and then like it's a whole thing, boy. And you have the situation with Azario, Major, where the police now being charged with murder. The young boy they shoot up in the car and they were covering up had removed the video footage, the CCTV footage from the bar where they were in front of where they did the thing. It's a whole gangsters a situation all over the world, right? So when you encounter things like that, like for me, if I get in trouble in Nassau, the last thing I could do is call a police officer I don't personally know.
Okay. I feel you on that.
I'm not going to do it because I already know that there are channels people can take to get around the system and to abuse the system and turn it around. This, if I was charged with that accident, not only would I have almost lost my life to a drunk driver, I had lost my vehicle, and then my insurance was going to pay to replace his vehicle and put him back on the road.
Right.
And how would that leave me feeling when I witnessed? There was no better witness to what happened on the road than me. I was creeping minutes away from home, bro, when this dude speeding on the road and saw me head on with a truck, and I am my little Suzuki Swift.
And you get charged?
And I got charged. That is the reality. That's why I say, I forget what the charge was, but they said that I was responsible for the accident. And I could go into the details that would really, really and truly blow your mind.
Get charged for creeping after hours.
It was like 8:30, by 8, 9 o'clock. I was minutes away from home. Minutes, like literally around the corner. And I'm a well-behaved member of the Nasty 5 plus 1.
Plus one.
And no, but see, when you have, and this is why I look at Alabama, and this is why a lot of Black people feel the way that they do, and white people the same that understand exactly how Black people feel, even though they can't really, really relate. They realize that there are a lot of instances when we Black people get blamed, or we good law-abiding citizens get blamed for things, and the criminals get away with, I won't say the criminals, the more
perpetrators,
politically connected
instigators,
people, yes, they get away basically with murder. And they want to see now. We don't always have the camera showing, because there were no other witnesses in my accident. You see what I'm saying? So
luckily,
in this case, luckily there was someone showing the camera that actually caught the part when the dude was attacked first. And if they didn't show that part, this whole scenario would be a different story.
You know it's very crazy. You know it's very, very crazy because now I only can go off personally how I would react, me personally. Now, I'm a licensed carrier. And when I say carrier, I don't mean an STD either. That thing. Right? If that had been me, you already know, and I was getting stomped out by how much time it was?
It was 3. You mean on the co-captain? 3 people jump in first.
Sean was getting that off.
One
shots would
catch
get
him
let
off
off,
guard.
and it would
He
have
was
been
watching the
justified.
hat go up in the air.
Listen, shots would have get fired, and it would have been justified. I'm telling you.
Mm.
So they're pretty lucky that he wasn't carrying. Because in a situation like that, your instinct, especially if you can't get up off the floor to defend yourself.
But what Dyson is saying is, especially in the States and especially in a state like Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
he's under the impression he doesn't have the confidence, even though the law is on his side, that
Listen,
he would get
it's
away with
caught,
it.
like Ruckus say, right? It's caught on camera, multiple angles.
Yeah. No, he said if it wasn't caught on camera.
If it wasn't caught on camera, the story would have been totally
Even
different.
if it wasn't caught on camera, shots were still getting ring off.
Well,
No,
yeah,
understand what I'm saying.
and it would have been just. But then
even
you would have
though-
gone to jail.
You would have gone to jail.
Even though
what
you were justified in bringing off those shots.
You would have
Even
gone to
though
jail, and you'd have been dragged to court, and you would have had to.
I'd have to fight that case. I'd have to fight that case.
and people do fight the case.
No, you would have a hard time proving, and you might lose. And this is
I'd
what
have to fight
Dyson.
that case because there ain't no way in any universe I get stomped on the floor by two or more.
Mhm.
You know what? Two on one in a straight a scrap with hands. Yeah, I good for that. That's fine. But above that, yeah, no. Shots getting let off.
And imagine
Sorry.
imagine if that was some senator's son, or the governor's son, and his friends.
And like
Or
I
you mean
said,
who get shot?
You know.
yeah, exactly. The one who got shot. Because they won't challenge. Nobody's gonna challenge you thinking that I am going to get my butt kicked. If they have any inkling, if they even feel as though they can lose, they're not gonna take it. They're not gonna take the first
you know
shot.
what though, Dyson? Not really, because growing up, when we was out like out in the street and whatever, right? You would have certain people who wouldn't challenge you to a fight if it's a one-on-one. But in a group setting, they're instantly harder, right or wrong.
Like I say, they think they have the advantage. They know all the daddy, the brothers, the
Right.
cousins, everybody is on the boat, everybody already intoxicated, so they're feeling
True.
their strength.
True.
Even Grammy or auntie or sister was there, and she was feeling her strength too. And everybody say it's us, and they never thought. I don't think anyone thought. The world didn't think that there was ever going to be an instance where black people would come together to defend that somebody was good. A black man and black people don't swim, babe. You don't jump in no water. And you could tell us being island boys, we swimmers, right? I mean, I know I'm a swimmer, right? And I was watching this dude swim,
but
and I
I
was
ain't in the
scared for
water.
him.
That's fine. Yeah.
I was scared. We have a whole song. I'm a Bahamian. I'm from the Bahamas. He say, I like the beach, but I don't go in water. I just want to profile with somebody's daughter. Shout out to Nakas, right? And so for a black person to jump in the water, bro, to swim across the thing, everyone is looking at this like, wow, but is really up. It's up now. We brave enough to face the oppressors. Per se, I'm just saying it is. We say that it's not a hate crime. And speaking about hate crimes, how much time we got? Speaking of hate crimes, there are hate crime laws. So if the FBI had deemed this to be a hate crime, automatically the level of charges against these people would be on a different. It would shoot up the roof, right? And the hate crime. There's a hate crime law. I think it's Shepherd and Bird. 2009. I just read it a little while ago. It came into play. Let me say what a hate crime. I don't have to go into that detail. We can figure out what a hate crime is, and it came from. And this is how these are new things. A hate crime law. Laws against hate crimes. This one is established in 2009, bro. Right, that ain't too far away. And this came into play after a black man, Mr. Bird, James Bird, I believe his name, was dragged behind a truck by 2 or 3 white men, tied to behind a truck and dragged.
I remember that. Yeah,
and ended up getting decapitated, right? So that was one of the instances that fueled the hate crime law. The main one, the law is actually known as the Shepherd something law, because this Matthew Shepherd, who was a publicly gay university student or what have you. He was jumped by two white men and beat up. And 6 days later, he died. And at that time, these guys were charged with murder. And now this law came into effect that made it illegal, hate crimes illegal. That's crimes against people because of race, perceived race, color, religious belief, gender, all these things, you know. And my thing is, we still in a situation, and it's very real. It's a human thing to feel as though if there's no justice, I will not be at peace. Personally, in my heart, it takes a lot to be at peace, even though there's no justice. Because you see me, I kind of pull myself from going back at this drunk driver situation because I get angry inside, and it really debilitates you. It had me. I had to write out the whole thing. You know, I have PTSD. I still is getting nervous when trucks pass me on the road. Like, I can't stand trucks. I must need to get one, because that's how you have to face your fears after situations like these, right? And it's difficult. Can you imagine the PTS that all of these people involved have to go through now? Now, some of it is a good thing because the white people that started the fight, they ain't gonna do it no more. Or if they do it again, they coming back very, very strong. They come out with an army. You understand what I'm saying? And the black people who got involved in it, some of them may feel their strength, but the dude who picked up the chair and is now going to jail, he's probably saying, "No, I should have left that alone." So in the future, people will be like, black people still getting blamed. Maybe we should leave these type things alone. Maybe we should allow another black man to be beat up or taken advantage of. Or any man. Let's take the race now out of it as we come to a close. Let's take the race now out of it. We've had shows before where we say, if something going down and it ain't your business, leaving will be this way. Yeah. Call the police and push up.
Boy, look here.
Right? Or even videotape it. Maybe now we realize why people would stand on the side when a fight is going down and videotape us instead of getting involved. Because ain't nobody trying to get stabbed for nobody else.
Nope.
Nobody trying to get shot for nobody else.
Nope.
Right? And I blame weapons because if it's a situation where I know only fists involved, I might say, okay, yeah, that dude had enough. Let me pull this dude off of him because I know it's just a fist out. Y'all just fisting it out. But if I don't know what's going on with y'all, then but y'all ain't got to go through that, boy.
Hey, stop them, boy. Hey, somebody stop them.
Yeah. Right? So,
which is totally different from how we used to act at a young age. Yes.
Yeah.
Keyword, young though. Mm-hmm. Young. Keyword, young.
Yeah, we would defend each other. So final thoughts, guys. I guess I'll point us in the direction of
we had to jump in just to get in a fight for the fight's sake.
Yeah.
Because we were bored.
Nothing to lose, bro. That's that nothing to lose attitude.
When you say I'm captain, save that up. say Ruckus, say I'm captain, save
Hey Ruckus with a big golden H on his chest.
Happy birthday, Ruckus, once again.
Yo.
Y'all be surprised, boy. I change a lot. You'd be surprised.
Hey, I'm not the one that said it. Ruckus said it, not me.
All right. Everything cool, man.
All right, so
You say that.
So once again, hey, Juan, you do like flaws on boats too?
Yeah, man.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen,
but I do carry on the boat too, though. Believe that.
You ain't got to swim over.
do you do flaws on taxis?
If they need it, but I do carry on taxis too.
So if your floor is popped down,
bro, Mr. Taxi Driver, why you wasn't wearing no drawers though? Seriously,
nobody was home with the dog rock.
No, that's it.
Hey, listen, that's embarrassing, bro. He could never Listen, I show multiple people that video, boy. He can just the mere fact of the whole the build up, bro. The build up just to be let down and go to sleep is just crazy.
You know, he was trending #1 on World Star for a minute. You know.
For
Gotta be.
real?
Yeah.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah, but Bahamas to the world.
Bahamas to the world. Hey, however we can take it, but we gonna be famous. We coming back. Bahamas
Oh
is gonna
man.
be a real place. It's one big flipping fantasy book. All right, so let me wrap it up then. I gave Knowles Wood Flooring a shout out because you don't want your steamboat floors to be popped down. You want them spanking new, especially at the side where you jumping off of. That got to be sturdy. If you could jump off into the water to swim anywhere, you should jump from a sturdy platform. Y'all check one those. If you're gonna swim over, you got to be fit. You got to make the journey over there safely with enough energy to save the person you go to swim. Just saying. Empire Fitness is the spot. Build your muscles. If you can't get to Nassau, Bahamas on the east side, in order to get to Empire Fitness, get yourself a virtual coach. Dr. Campazar right there. Y'all give him a shout out. I got some banners for y'all with the numbers. Let me just pop that across the screen right now. Let's start with one. And yes, I'm Dyson Knight. Hey, I got some good news, buddy. One of our pages, the Bahamian official page on YouTube just hit 100,000 subscribers.
Nice.
So, yeah. So like I say, it's take a while. It's take a while, but stay dedicated, stay committed to the cause, and you can get there. Definitely want to ask everybody to subscribe to this channel, the Sup'm Show on YouTube. Let's see how quickly we can get ourselves to 100,000 subscribers. We're here every Sunday at 6:30 EST time with another topic. And next week's topic is going to be, Dr. Campazard, you got the floor.
Next week's topic is going to be, what do you call it? We're going to talk about the laws once again, because we talked about this before, and we said we have to do a part 2. Once again, we're going to address the laws regarding. Can we say this on YouTube?
Say grape.
We don't even know what you're trying to say.
Grape. Instead of say grape.
The minor attracted people who grape other people, younger people.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the minor attracted people who grape other people once again, because we've had quite a few incidents in the past week or 2 weeks. So we're going to discuss those next week.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we're back on it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Mr. Juan Knowles, Dr. Campazard.
That's him. Or him. I don't know.
Yeah. Yo, it's Dyson Knight. We out. See y'all next week.
Y'all take care of each other. Peace.
Peace out.